All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tristan Nelson, here with the boys, Will Hardy, Sam Godelf. This is the Inner Circle podcast. Thank you guys for coming back. It's gonna be a really, really good one today, where we got some stuff in lined up for just some gut health tips and then some fun Q&As. Just trying to talk about what we're doing as coaches and bodybuilders. And yeah, let's rip it. We're gonna give it you guys our social handles right off the bat for at least Instagram, YouTube. You can find mine on Instagram at Trist_Nelson. And you can find me at Savage Excellence for YouTube. Feel free, whoever wants to go, Sam.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, you could find me on Instagram or YouTube at Samuel.GOTHELF. Um, both the same. So,
Sweet. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at will.hardy1. Or if you just look up Will Hardy on YouTube, it should pop up there as well.
Hell yeah. How's you guys this week been, boys?
Good.
busy,
Sam, you want to go
crazy.
Bit
first?
active?
Yeah. So, um, kind of the last 2 weeks have kind of merged into one. Just because I've been out of town, my own, house, and routine for the last 2 weeks. So I went to New York, specifically Brooklyn, for my athlete Michael's competition, and he took third in open and a novice, which honestly, he
Well,
deserved to be placed a lot higher. And I've been told that by several other of the coaches that were there. Kind of the judge was a little bit. I don't know. It was a little bit weird. The OCB
yeah.
gets kind of weird, but we are so proud of with how he looked. He looked amazing. It was his third show, and he honestly, that was his best package ever. That was his first show working with me, so he had such an enjoyable time this prep instead of like being stressed, worrying about, what the next move was. He didn't have a coach with him last time. So now that I was there, being able to, take him back and just kind of like tell him, hey, you worked hard for this, at this point, all you got to do is just kind of have fun and just enjoy it. And that was kind of the biggest lesson of that trip was enjoying the work that you actually put in. And also did have another athlete, Logan, who competed in the NFBA, which is another natural league, and he got first in juniors, first in novice, and he got third overall. He was two away from a pro card, his first ever show. So, super proud of my guys this weekend. And then went straight to, my girlfriend's for a week and kind of, spent the whole week there. Got to visit her. Haven't seen her in a month. So normally I like to just take a trip up there for a week and visit. And that gets me to just relax and chill out a little bit and just only work on business and my athletes. So that was my last 2 weeks.
Heck yeah, man. Dude, that's a fun last couple of weeks, bro. That's
Oh
busy.
yeah, lots of traveling. Got stuck at JFK for a day and oh, I never want to go back to New York ever again.
Yeah. How do you feel? Because you're in prep right now. How was that traveling while being in prep? Like, do you feel
Oh,
like
bro.
good
Well, I
or
mean, it was a nightmare because I missed my flight and I was stuck at the airport for over 12 hours, bro. So, Nick was like, hey, shit, man, can't worry about it now. You just gotta kind of survive right now. And got like a few protein bars and ate those and honestly had my meals and woke up 2 pounds lighter and way leaner. And then
Really?
this
Yeah.
week ended up freaking dropping over 11 pounds. So,
That's
which is
wild.
nuts. Yeah, I had 5 refeeds this week and dropped 11 pounds.
Yeah,
Nuts.
that's insane, dude.
Nick's a wizard, bro.
Dude, that's such an important piece as a competitive bodybuilder that a lot of, if you guys are watching this and you're competitive bodybuilders, or even just not even a competitive bodybuilder, but bodybuild or want to compete, it's super important to not get too caught up in executing something perfectly by any means. Because that was a mistake I used to make in my first prep where say if I run out of an ingredient, I would seriously straight up drive to Walmart, like
Yeah.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, just get one ingredient so I could be like perfectly disciplined. When I'm like, bro, just sub this out and keep your same sleep schedule. That's
Yeah.
simple, you
Yeah.
know?
And
Like, it's
put
way more
you
effective.
ended up pushing back that meal, which, could affect a lot more things, So
Absolutely.
sometimes like even like when you just like eat something that's like, you have no like let's say you have no control over, what's gonna happen. Like I was stuck at the airport, right? Obviously like, there's restaurants and crap you get like fresh food, but like if you just have like, a little something that's like gonna just keep you alive, it's okay. It's not going to like ruin your prep, especially if you're weeks out. And you should save yourself a lot of that mental stress because you're gonna need it closer to the show. So if you keep harping on yourself, it's gonna continue to build and build, and you're just gonna have a tough time. So exactly like Tristan said, like just make the substitution and just move on.
Yeah.
Don't like keep it in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's like as kind of adding on to what Tristan said, which like it's there's a like almost hierarchy into like things that matter way more that you should worry about more so like the sleep thing, right? Keeping the same sleep schedule, like not missing a lift, but like if you're a couple grams off your scale or you need to get something, late at night, because you don't have it in your pantry or whatever, it's like don't do that. Just wait till the morning. And like if worst case scenario, just tell your coach if you're worried about it. Because the best thing that's that like high level of communication that's going to allow you to, just be able to get the best results possible. You know what I mean?
What do you mean
But
by comes off the scale?
well, like what I'm saying is like, okay, like let's say that you're in an airport or something like that. And, I think like, and this more pertains to like if you're in the off season. I think some guys that I've had like when I've coached have been like so like they've gotten themselves stressed out to the extent of like texting me about something like that, like that's super crazy, but like some crazy text message like, oh, I missed, my protein by like a couple grams. Like, what should I do? I'm like, dude, like you're in the off season, right? Like I think in prep, like obviously not, you should try to be as close to the gram as possible, but like, don't throw yourself into this panic mode, especially being in prep about anything that's like that small of a deal at the end of the day, because that stress is going to be more
That's
deleterious towards your prep than the actual, missing a gram or two of protein. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess going into my week, it's been just kind of a more relaxed, chill, like laid back week. I kind of had a nice week being in South Lake Tahoe, California, and it was beautiful. I can as like what I can say the least is just it was beautiful, man. Like I just being to be out there. And just experience that with my family. And just taking the time, like I was talking to you about this like earlier, Tristan, but just being more present, like and truly present, not just saying that I'm being present, but like checking myself. Am I thinking about seven different things, or am I like focused on God right now? Am I focused on my family right now? And obviously, like, I was still working on the vacation, and there's times that like, I caught myself doing that, but it was a lot better than I have been in the past, where when I'm home in the past, like I'm always like focused on like what's the next thing I can do for the business, what's the next thing I can do to make sure that I'm not missing on my plan as a bodybuilder, like, and I'm worried about all these other things. I don't feel sometimes like I'm as connected to my family when I'm doing that. And obviously, like we're like with the ages that we're at right now, and the places in life where we're at, like it's okay to have like that ultimate drive that we have, like that high level of like drive that we do. But sometimes it's like important to just take some time to slow down, and truly be present, because in those moments, I've just found like over and over and over, like I get some of the best revelations from God, and just the best guidance, where I can feel like there's actually an open door in front of me that I've been missing the whole entire time. But because I took the time to just like let God show me, it was a lot more just like I could visually see it. You know what I mean? So came back with some cool ideas as far as the business goes, the next couple months, and even just like a new standard I have for myself within execution, on my bodybuilding journey as well. So cool weekend, just
That's
kind of
awesome.
relaxing. So
Dude, and I always find like after like a good vacation like that, it just recharges you like you're ready to like just smash it, you know?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
remember like when it was the end of the Pittsburgh trip and
Mm,
we were all talking, we're like, I can't wait to get back home and get to
yeah,
work.
yeah, dude.
So it's
Yeah,
always
Yeah,
dude.
good to
that
like,
was a very vivid moment. Like I when you
yeah,
said that, like I literally like had those flashbacks to like we're all
yeah.
like discussing
We
that
were
in
on the
the car.
street walking, remember? It was
Yeah.
late at night, yeah.
Yep. And we
We're
were all
like, let's
talking
go.
about
We were
how,
all hyped up. That's the
yeah,
best, bro.
yeah. And then we made all that stuff happen too, which was sick. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
man.
How was
Yeah,
your week,
dude.
Tristan?
The week has been freaking awesome, man. I feel like things are just changing like crazy. Signed on a couple new athletes this week, and then just church faith has been definitely stronger than ever. I feel like I have a much more just genuine relationship with the Lord lately, where it's not so much, our pastor, I don't know if he said it in your same service this morning, but he said some words like sometimes we need to be diligent of when we are talking to God, but we're actually praying to ourselves
Mhm.
or doing things for the sake of disciplinary habits. So like reading the Bible every single day, but sometimes you start to not read it for the Bible, but for checking off the box of reading the Bible.
Mm.
So trying to make sure I'm going into things with the right posture and heart helps a lot. But yeah, also started dating a lady who's been helping me out a lot in bodybuilding. She's super supportive, which is awesome. We kind of like to keep our relationship more private. I like to keep that stuff more private personally. Not like I'm not willing to post about it, but I'm just not a share my relationship
I'm
all
like
over.
that too. I
So,
don't do
yeah.
that either. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, still in
That's
this
that way.
this cut here, and um, I was walking down the street, and it was so funny. I was just getting some steps in. And then Nick calls me, FaceTimes me. He's like, yo, dude, what you up to? I'm like, nothing, bro. Just getting some steps in. What's up? He's like, you want to do Badger State?
Yeah.
So as of last Thursday, I'm 10 weeks out.
Yes. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
I
that
was like,
reaction was
I'm
priceless,
accepted.
Sam. I saw Sam's face. I was like, that's priceless, dude. That's awesome.
Let's go. Because I saw you said 10 weeks out, question
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for that confirmation, dude. Nice, dude.
Dude, what's
Oh,
crazy about that is I
let's go.
swiped up on his story when he said that. I'm like, dude, you should do a shotgun prep. And like, I'm pretty sure, like, didn't Nick like call you like what an hour or two later after that?
I think it's the next day or
The
something
next
like
day,
that.
yeah.
Dang.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's funny, you're competing. You started prep before me, and now you're competing before me.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you're leaning up and shaping up really well. Like we could definitely make this one happen. I'm like, sure. I'm like, why not? So yeah, I just feel like I'm in a super good just mindset right now too, where I just feel very mentally clear. I have the best support system I've ever had. And I mean, it's right here local.
It's
We're
there.
not really going into this show with like expectations to go to nationals, or like even if I win overall, I probably wouldn't go to nationals just because I know I'm not ready for that. But it's more so like a let's do this, have some fun with it, place what we place. But obviously the goal is to get better every single day
Mhm.
and bring the best that we can and see what we can do, kind of see where we're at. And honestly, dude, like I just need it because I haven't competed in like over 3 years. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I just want to prep and I'm already in a prep mindset. You know what I mean? So plus like Fat's just coming off, shaping up well. Um, it was kind of funny on the call too. He was like, dude, this is a crazy good look for only 500 tests and 200 EQ. And I was like, 500 tests and 200 EQ. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm only on 300 tests right now. He was like, wait, what? He's like, you're supposed to be taking 500, 200 the whole time. And I was like, yeah, definitely not. It's like, well, we need to bump that up. So yeah, this last Thursday, he just bumped me up to 600 tests and 300 mass. So things are getting
Wow.
freaky over these next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, calories are still pretty high too. It's like high days are like
Smooth.
3.6 thousand.
Dang, 3.6.
Yeah,
You
low
lucky
days
man.
are like 2.7 now. And then I do currently cardio 4 times a week, 500 cal burn, 10K steps. So I feel
Oh,
great right now.
nice.
Not bad at all. We still
That's
have like
awesome, dude.
a lot of leverage to pull from,
Oh, so much, dude.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. It's been a like fun new fire to kind of have. And I've just been like really enjoying even just these first few days already because it's been completely different, a completely different feeling from any prep where I'm really trying to go into the posture of this where I'm doing this genuinely to glorify God and not myself. And I try to set that standard each morning whenever I wake up. I go and chill in my car and I just listen to the worship radio, kind of feel the Holy Spirit, drink on a little bit of pre-workout, maybe some EAAs. Then I have a good prayer. And I'll go upstairs into the cardio room and listen to a sermon while I do my cardio, go out for a beautiful walk, be with God in some quietness. And dude, by the end of that, I just feel so just with God.
That's
I've
awesome,
actually
dude.
genuinely the last week have had tears of joy and gratitude every single day, which is sick.
Bro, that's awesome, man.
Dude, I'm excited. It should be fun. It should be fun.
Let's go.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that that photo, like 10 weeks out, question mark. Nick said, yeah, I saw that photo like you tagged me in, and I was driving with Riley, I think, to the gym or back from the gym. And I was just like, should I put Tristan in a show? And she was like, which one would you put him in? He's like, I think Badger State is actually 10 weeks out. And she was like, I'm gonna put him in Badger State.
Nice.
But yeah, so dude, we need to get a session here soon. Like both of us in prep, bro. Oh, these are
Tristan,
nasty
Friday or
stuff.
Saturday, bro?
Yeah, dude. That's why I said I'll let you know Thursday
Yeah,
because he's kind of giving me updates with things as the week goes.
yeah.
So, but yeah, exciting stuff. It's been a
Sweet.
minute.
Sweet. Well, should we move into a couple questions, or you actually had a thing you want to talk
Let's
about?
do your like fun activity
Yeah,
thing.
All right, all right. I kind of had a cool little idea here. So,
How much
um,
would it
we
take?
were basically just talking one day, like me and Tristan outside the gym, and you're like, dude, how much trend would it take to do like this? I can't remember what the example was, but I was like, dude, that'd be a good like podcast question we could just kind of fill the blank with. So, I'm just kind of find a good one. I kind of searched up a couple on like ChatGPT, unless you guys had one like in mind. Um,
I think we were like walking and I was like, I wonder how much training it'd take to be able to just rip a tree out of the ground and chuck it or
okay, we can start with that one. Sam, what do you think? How much trend does it take to rip a tree out of the ground?
Um, well, it wouldn't be the amount of trend, it'd be the amount of like force.
Right,
yeah.
right. But
But
like just like hypothetically, yeah.
hypothetically, at least a good vial.
Like
But
one just
like,
full pin of a full entire vial
yeah, like 2,000 milligrams.
2000.
all at once, Trenace.
That would be like weekly, let's
Oh,
say for
weekly.
eight
Okay.
weeks.
For 8 weeks. Okay, okay.
So
Is it building up to like the 8 weeks,
16,000 milligrams
16,000
trend.
milligrams? Is it
Yeah,
so
it'll build
that's
up. Yeah,
building
yeah,
up to the 8 week mark where you're pulling
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah, yeah,
16,000
yeah. Yeah.
milligrams of Tren in you? Okay.
Oh man, you'd be cooked.
All right, hear me out. Hear me out. How much trend would it take to pick up an armored tank, crumple it like a soda can, and just chuck it?
I just keep thinking of the Hulk, dude. Like I can't think of anything else right now because I just saw the Spider-Man movie. I'm like, oh, Hulk could do that shit. He could rip a tree off the
Dude, like,
ground.
yeah, you
How
gotta be
much trend
taking.
would you actually take to look like the Hulk thing?
Yeah, I think we're talking probably like at least a couple
At least
vials.
100 grams.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably a fair estimate. Like we're not even going the milligrams at this point anymore. We're going straight to grams.
Straight to grams.
Anywhere from 100 to 1,000 grams.
Okay, okay. Um, how much trend would it take to make you believe vegetables are government propaganda?
I don't think
Yeah,
as much as you think.
Yeah,
people do that
I
without it.
yeah.
Yeah. Some people get that off like 400 a week.
Yeah. I'd probably say like for someone like me, probably like 200, 210, somewhere in there.
200. It's
I
not
feel
that
like,
much.
yeah, I feel like just a little bit, and I
Will,
probably,
with the prep brain you get, dude,
yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
just
be
need a little,
surprised.
yeah, just a little bit. Um, Here we go. How much trend would it take to start sweating while taking a cold shower?
Oh. Uh, hmm. That'd be pretty wild. Something will be off there.
Yeah. I'm thinking probably at least like probably close to a gram, right?
That's
Like,
That's
exactly.
got to be the close to a gram, yeah.
um,
I bet Nick sweats during a cold shower.
Without.
yeah, that's without trend, dude. Um, how much trend would it take to make your blood work come back with a handwritten note from the lab?
Oh,
No.
500 milligrams,
Yeah,
maybe a gram.
but like probably I'd probably say like 700 to 900.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Um, how much trend would it take to make a TSA agent say, you know what, just go? I feel like I
Well,
feel
they
like
don't
that's
even
more of a,
care.
yeah, they don't really care either way.
So one vial.
One
Mm.
vial, okay. Like and okay, yeah, that's
Like
fair.
if you have one with you.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking or what?
Well, I think I'm thinking more so like, yeah, I guess that could be phrased as a question. I was thinking when I saw that, I was more thinking of like the TSA officers intimidated by like how like just psychopathic you look or something like that look on your face.
Oh, probably 400 to 500 milligrams.
Yeah.
Not that much.
Um,
You could tell if someone's on trend.
Hey, speaking of trend, Nick said he was going to bring some in the next few weeks.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Dang, well, yeah, you are 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about to get real fun for you.
yeah. I mean, wow.
Ooh, how much trend in the off season would it take to make your sleep apnea machine request PTO? Dude,
It's
just
already requiring PTO, bro.
yeah. Yeah, I don't even have a sleep apnea machine. I'm probably would hit that pretty quick. Um,
Let's do one more.
let's do one more. Yeah, some of these are really interesting. Some of these I don't feel like would be that funny to say. Um, let's see. How much trend would it take to reach 300 pounds lean while eating Uncrustables and gas station protein shakes? That's actually
Ooh,
a pretty good one.
ooh, that is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Probably a lot though. Are you still
Like,
training hard? You're probably still training hard though.
okay, I want to say this more, and let's answer for more ourselves here. Like how much we think we respond to it based on like the way we train, the way we eat, and whatnot. Or actually, not in this case, it's not the way we eat, but the way we sleep and recover and train.
Uncrustables and gas station protein shakes.
Yeah,
Bro, I could
Oh,
grow
I
these.
love Uncrustables.
but get
I
to
could grow
300
up.
pounds. Like how much?
Have you
How
guys
much?
ever had a frozen Uncrustable?
No, that sounds good
No.
though. I
Oh,
don't like them frozen though.
unbelievable.
Nice and soft. I like them nice and soft, like
Yeah.
room temp.
Nah, bro. Dude, the peanut butter gets like
Ooh,
hard and the jelly stays like jelly. So it's like, it's
that's
immaculate.
Okay.
mm.
I'm putting everyone on to this. Everyone watch
Refrigerated,
it.
not frozen. I would say
I can
refrigerated.
see the refrigerator. I've actually had a refrigerated one before as a kid.
Frozen's better. But
That's like you're biting into a rock.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
it's
I'm
not
like,
that. It's no, it's soft. Like it's not because like the bread, it's not as hard as you think it is.
okay.
It's not gonna be like crazy, like biting into a frozen chicken breast.
All right. So
Uh,
like Tristan, how much trend would it
hmm.
take you to get to 300 pounds lean, eating Uncrustables and drinking protein shakes from a gas station? You can just say like milligrams per week or grams, I guess.
500.
How much?
Depends how fast you're trying to get to 300 with
So
100.
300
Yeah.
pounds?
Yeah, that's what it says.
I'm saying like 5 grams a week.
5 grams?
5 grams.
Yeah.
What's the timeline here? Yeah, that's the other question. What's the timeline? Are we gonna set a timeline?
1 year.
1 year?
Well, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna need more than 400 in a year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we
Say two
could, I
grams.
mean, well, like we could all hit like 245 pretty easily with like clean food. Like if we really push clean food. Oh, are we gonna get, are we lean here? 300 lean?
Yeah.
I guess the trend will just like help, but like
Yeah.
you gotta eat so many Uncrustables.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot. I
Oh,
think like yeah, you'd have to structure it out right, I guess, but you'd probably have to do like you start like with a
50
lower dose.
Uncrustables a day.
Yeah, you start with a lower dose of trend and like I don't know, like 70 to 140 for like a half cycle, then bump it up to like 210 to 300 the second half, and then do another cycle where you're bumping, I don't know, up to 800 to a gram. Like you're gonna have some poor sleep, you're gonna have some night sweats, but anything to get to 300.
You're gonna have
That's
some
my
heart
answer.
palpitations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my answer. I'd
We'll
probably say,
see if you survive.
yeah. All right, Sam, what about you?
Do like 5 grams.
5 grams, okay. 5 grams a
I
week?
get fat easily, dude. I need that extra dosage.
Yeah. What about you, Tristan?
What was the question again?
The trend one, like how long it would like how much if you had a year of eating the protein shakes
Oh, I already
and
said 2 grams.
2 grams? Okay, gotcha. All right. Um, Sweet. Well, that was our interesting section of how much trend would it take to do blank. I guess leave some comments for the next video if you guys have any interesting ones for that topic. Tristan, you had an interesting thing you want to go over regarding gut health. If you had like a presentation for it or something like that.
I have like a resource, like spreadsheet I just kind of built out over the last week for just kind of encompassing digestion tips, peptides or different supplements, probiotics versus prebiotics,
Hmm.
uh, different just kind of like phases to go through within a gut health phase, and then like low FODMAP versus high histamine kind of stuff. I won't go over like the entire thing, but I can maybe try to give like a quick little like breakdown for everyone. And it's still a resource I'm like building out, so it's not like a fully completed thing, but I have a decent amount of stuff on here. Let's see. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so when it comes to gut health, let's first understand like what the digestive system is. So starts in the mouth, salivary glands, esophagus, into the stomach, and goes into your small intestine, large intestine, throughout your rectum, then your anus. So I mean, that's why you hear a lot of people say like, make sure you're chewing your food fully this way, because digestion starts in the mouth where your saliva comes into your gums, helps kind of break down the food, goes through down the esophagus into your stomach. You want very you want to give the acid in your stomach the easiest job possible. So like large chunks of meat you don't want in there. Um, in terms of like how this stuff passes through, like I said, through the mouth, down the esophagus and the stomach, then the stomach breaks it down, pushes it up through the pyloric sphincter into the small intestine, then through the duodenum, through the jejunum, through the large intestine, and then out through rectum. So that's kind of like the main things like we're trying to optimize here is like the process of this food moving through. And two big like processes in this that help a lot with gut health is gastric emptying, gut motility, and peristalsis. So peristalsis is the actual process of the food going through your intestines to be utilized and broken down for energy absorption. So just like some like basic little practical tips bodybuilders could take away to improve their digestion is like tummy rubs after you eat a meal. If you're maybe like sitting, you can always rub your tummy, just kind of help push along food and help just positively influence that peristalsis process. as we all kind of know, spacing our meals out, minimizing highly fermentable foods like onion, garlic, that can help irritate your gut less. You'll see a lot less inflammation, maybe just less like water retention, gut distension, things like that, farting, burping, acid reflux. Using a small spoon to eat your food just kind of forces you to take your time a little bit more, not putting in just large amounts of food right away. This is a cool trick I actually learned from, oh my gosh, what am I forgetting his name? Mountain Dog on YouTube. What's his name?
Um,
I'm totally
um,
spacing. He passed
uh,
away.
yeah, I know what you mean. John Meadows.
Yeah.
John Meadows. He had this tip I saw a long time ago was drinking about 10 to 15 fluid ounces of water about 20 minutes before you eat, just so you kind of help hydrate that digestive tract before you eat. And then you would eat your meal, let it sit in your gut for at least about 20 minutes, and then you would re-drink another 10 to 15 fluid ounces to help gastric emptying and gut motility do its thing to push it through. And that's important because a lot of people kind of like slam some water with their
Oh yeah.
meal, which helps that doesn't help. It expands the stomach a lot more
Yep.
and just the stomach's harder, the job a lot harder.
This
So
is like a protocol I actually give to all my athletes.
yeah,
Like it makes that one makes like a clear difference. Like
huge
it
difference.
truly does.
Huge
Like you
difference.
feel that difference too. So
Especially for guys
100%.
that are pushing really high food too. It's just like when you're just feeling like all the time, like you have to eat all the time just because of how high your food is. Like these small tricks are going to help a lot, and it's helped some of my guys who are pushing upwards of 6,000 calories a day. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, so then I just kind of broke down a little gut morning and nighttime routine that I kind of do myself. So personally, if you have cardio, I'd recommend doing it fasted. That way you can kind of just get everything woken up in terms of like blood flow, drink your water in the morning, kind of hydrate again that digestive tract and go do your fast cardio, come back, and you could have your 10 to 15 grams of glutamine, which just helps to repair the mucosal lining, which helps kind of seal up the little cracks in your stomach from the acid kind of eating at the stomach lining. So that helps prevent, again, inflammation, seeping out, and water retention, things like that. You can also have that with maybe 2 ounces of lemon juice, 4 ounces apple cider. I'd have that probably 20 minutes at least before your first meal. But what I'd actually really like people doing is actually having this with some water, like 15 fluid ounces of water or so, heat it up, and then put in a digestive tea in it. So then when
mm,
you drink it, you're actually drawing more blood flow to the whole digestive tract specifically. So that can help a lot. I'd recommend getting the no, excuse me, Smooth Move tea, which has cyan peppermint, which is a natural laxative. So that can help kind of just again lubricate that whole digestive tract for optimized digestion. We all kind of know that walking after meals, 10 minutes walking after, again, just kind of helps with, your insulin sensitivity, shuttling glucose from the blood as glycogen in the muscle, and peristalsis, gut motility helps all with that. You'd also be very, very surprised of how important your sleep is to your gut health. So that's extremely important. Trying to really limit eating big meals before bed is something I'm really trying to focus on, is finishing all my meals an hour before bed. So I have kind of time to process through. Because we got to remember our digestive tract works on a vertical plane, not horizontal when you're laying down. So when you're laying down for 8 hours and you just ate a meal, you're giving it a lot more potential cause to maybe ferment and grow that bad bacteria to cause things like other gut dysbiosis issues. So even getting maybe something like a standing desk, I actually just got myself so that I can stand after meals and let my body work on a vertical plane for as much as possible. And then I can sit back down when I feel like I've kind of processed through it for maybe the first 30 minutes after eating or so. Um, Nighttime meals as well. Also, through this in here as well, I've been doing this more myself, is a decrescendo with steps. I've been doing this a lot more. I know a lot of people preach 10 minutes exactly after meals, but I like it a lot better whenever I wake up in the morning and go for a 30-minute walk than eat, than maybe just like 5, 10 minute walk or so. eat another meal, and then go for like a 20-minute walk, come back, eat my meal, maybe go for like a 5-10 minute, and then I just have like maybe like a light walk at the end of the day, if any steps. I notice I'm a lot more consistent when I put a more of a bulk in the beginning of my day with steps.
Yeah. And obviously that's going to start speeding up that metabolism, getting things
Right.
moving. You know, what I found also, is like the longer walks after a meal actually could cause more bloating and inflammation instead of
Yeah.
just having 5 minutes and then just relaxing and letting that food just get absorbed.
100%. That's something you guys got to really think about too, is we're all so stimulated in a day where you digest, literally your parasympathetic nervous system is nicknamed rest and digest. We want to be completely relaxed whenever we eat. So I'm trying to do better of not watching something. Yeah, perfect. Magnesium glycinate. Yes, sir. I'm trying to do better of like not like watching podcasts or scrolling on my phone. I'm just fully present in the meal. And I take just like 5 deep breaths through my belly before I even start eating. So I can be just completely calm. And you'll manage potential cravings and hunger better. You'll absorb the nutrients better. And you'll just overall digest it a lot better. You'll be much more satiated, and yeah, it'll be much, much
Even
better digestion.
even like just by having the food like there, like you said, could take a couple breaths, like having it there for like a couple of seconds, it's just like something with, the smell and in your brain, it just gets your body ready to,
Yeah,
actually
be prepared.
eat.
Sure.
But yeah,
100%.
magnesium glycinate, especially post-workout, before
Mm,
your like post-workout meal,
it's a good
this
idea.
helps a ton. And before bed, just yeah, getting your body back to a more parasympathetic nervous system state, because we're super stimulated, taking tons of caffeine and pre-workout and then slamming, 2 hours of sessions at the gym, our adrenaline is through the roof. And with, adrenaline being active and present, it's extremely hard to really pull in all those nutrients efficiently.
Yeah, you could even pair that with some magnesium citrate, which actually also helps draw water into the digestive tract as well.
Hmm. Combination.
This is one I haven't finished out building yet, but I'm starting to build out more just uncommon gut issues like SIBO, H. pylori, Candida, stuff like that. And then just different supplements that you can use to take to kind of help treat it, different dosages and stuff like that. Um, so like, for example, this is probably the most common one that bodybuilders experience is acid reflux. A really great one you can test this with is like a low stomach acid test where you would just basically have 5 fluid ounces of water, put in what is it like a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, put it in there, mix it up, drink it. And within 3 to 5 minutes, you should be able to burp because it should have a chemical reaction. And if you do burp, you're good. But if you don't, that's pretty much signaling to you that you have low stomach acid because you know how much water came in, right? And if you don't have enough to react with it, it's low stomach acid. So an easy way you can kind of fix this is some betaine HCl, 500 milligrams with your meal, which works on those, I believe, endothelial cells to help stimulate more of the acid to help digest and break it down. But if you're still seeing issues with this, it could be maybe a potential like H. pylori kind of case where I'd recommend maybe getting like an actual GI map done and diving a little bit deeper. But this one will help a lot for any bodybuilders that struggle with acid reflux.
One
But
thing, Christian, I was going to actually add in too as well. I don't
yeah,
know if you guys have ever like tested this out or had athletes test this out, but I just noticed this kind of more personally within myself when it came to previous cases of acid reflux that I had, especially post show with like the orals that I ran and just getting my microbiome back to normal. Um, I actually noticed there's a couple of nights where I woke up with really bad acid reflux. And I literally took a swig of the apple cider vinegar. And within like about 10 minutes, the acid reflux was gone and didn't come back for like days upon days. So I don't, and that's one thing where I think it could actually potentially make the symptoms worse, depending on who you are, depending on actually if you have low stomach or acid or not. Um, but it is something that I've noticed anecdotally that has made a difference for me. I don't know if you guys noticed that at all.
Yeah. And also like I know some of my athletes absolutely cannot get down to apple cider. So good alternative for apple cider would be like aloe vera juice as well.
Yeah,
That's another good one.
it is a really good one. Um, I also just kind of have broken down here as well, just different supplements that you could take in a gut health phase. Say if you're trying to go through like an actual like case of something where you need to kill it off and bed like SIBO or something like that. So kind of different phases you would go through would be like a priming phase, kill phase, and then like a phase where you kind of slowly bring foods back in to see what's causing the issue, and then you would slowly repopulate back to like a normal baseline gut microbiome. So first things first, whenever you're in a priming phase, you want to lower inflammation as much as possible and minimize any kind of symptoms you are currently having. So I have some symptoms in here too, like antimicrobials, antioxidants, immunoglobulins, anti-inflammatories, nervous system regulation. So like that magnesium glycinate would definitely be one. Mucosal repair for mucosal lining repair, excuse me, antifungals. Basically, just things that are going to help reduce all of the current symptoms and then to go into a kill phase so it's at its weakest, essentially. So I also have just supplements in here with the links, what it kind of does, what its purpose is, what the dose would be to take, and you can kind of go from there. Like antioxidants, we're all pretty familiar with like N-acetylcysteine. That's a precursor to glutathione production, which is one of your body's main antioxidants, immune system regulation. You can start that off at 600 milligrams, try to build up to 1200. So yeah, just kind of look through these, even like anti-inflammatories, BCQ, where he's got the boswellia, bromelain, curcumin, really good stack of all three of those amazing supplements. And yeah, so feel free to look through those. Just different peptides in here too that you could possibly use in the gut health phase is oral BPC 157. I know a lot of people have seen that where it's kind of acting on the actual gut microbiome itself. GHRP4 and 6, just different ones to stimulate ghrelin. I'm not saying you have to use this necessarily to improve gut health. It's just more like a gut related peptide if you want. So I just threw it in there. KPV is a really good anti-inflammatory peptide. I would definitely use that with someone. Um, Laraticide, designed to target tight junctions, reduce potential leaky gut systems. And then kind of same thing with the GHRP. I just threw in GLP-1 and GLP-2 just again for keeping intestinal tract
Tristan, you gotta switch this stuff out with Sinjin. You
Syngin.
gotta get a code, bro. He needs a code.
Yeah.
I know, Sinjin,
But
100%.
I just placed an order of the KPV, so I'm gonna actually try
Same
that
here.
and I'll let you guys know what I think of it.
Yeah, I was going to bring up KPV and maybe some Mott-C to Nick to use in the prep, see what he kind of thought of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so things just kind of look out for if you maybe are having some gut health issues as a bodybuilder. It's maybe just like consistent bloating, acid reflux, farting or flatulence, constipation, burping, brain fog, stomach aches. And just understand too, just because you have some of these doesn't really necessarily mean you have a gut disease. Because, whenever food's high, you're going to probably be burping and farting to some degree. You're going to be maybe a little constipated to some degree. But if it's like kind of like excessive for long periods, like it's consistent, then let's maybe look into it. I was going to have just like some more uncommon gut issues maybe some people could be experiencing. Feel free to look through those.
Dude, this is awesome, bro. Dang.
Yeah, helps a lot. I want to build this out even more, and I want to kind of go into like insulin sensitivity and waste control.
Oh yeah. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta send me
Great
this.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Um,
I'll have Will link this in the description where I'll have like a copy on the end of it. So you can just click it. It'll make you an automatic copy of your own of this spreadsheet without it being linked to anyone else's email. So you can have it for your own. But I will be adding to this. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you guys ever want like an updated version, I plan to probably post it later down the road as like a fully completed final copy. But
Sweet.
moving on. Antibiotics, that's one that destroys people's gut microbiome that they don't even realize. I hope you guys understand the least destructive the least destructive antibiotic can still make your gut microbiome take up to 3 to 6 months minimum to be fully rebalanced to healthy homeostasis. So like antibiotics are really kind of like a last resort, but I kind of listed out all the main prescribed antibiotics here from the most damage to the least damage. So if you are going to get an antibiotic, make sure you get a amoxicillin or a augmentin. These are like penicillins.
Penicillins, yeah.
Um, these ones can be like a 1 to 2 month recovery in healthy adults. So it's like the lowest. That's what I go with. But let's understand too, if we are bedridden sick for more than like 4, 5, 6, 7 days and you just feel like death, let's just take an antibiotic because it's causing way more stress to your body than an antibiotic, So just kind of judge it by what you feel like you maybe need. Obviously, you don't need to die on your deathbed over having good gut health. You know what I mean? So another one we have is some prebiotics versus probiotics. What's the difference? Keeping it simple. Probiotics help feed the living good bacteria that balance your microbiome and ease bloating. Pretty much help feed the bacteria that's already there in your gut. Prebiotics, or excuse me, other way around. Probiotics help add good bacteria to the gut to help it thrive. Prebiotics are the ones that help feed your existing body's good bacteria. So some natural probiotics you could take, some kombucha or sauerkraut, yogurt. Natural ones you could do for like prebiotics, onions, garlic, bananas, oats, barley. And these are also going to be foods that are on the high FODMAP, so like easily fermentable, but that doesn't make them bad foods. It just kind of depends on what reacts well with you, what doesn't react well with you, and realize there's good to these foods too. But I would say if like you're going to want to use something maybe like garlic, just use some like garlic extract where you're going to get the main benefit from garlic instead of having actual garlic where it could cause inflammation and you just get mainly the benefits from the supplement. I think like one serving of what is it, like 10 milligrams? I think I have it up here actually. Yeah, 10 milligrams of garlic extract is actually the equivalent nutritional benefit of 1,000 bulbs of garlic. So I would just do that.
Well,
I was gonna say
Um,
another, if you don't mind me jumping in real quick,
now
another.
go ahead.
So another great antimicrobial, just because I was gonna mention this earlier, but I think we just kind of skipped over it because we kept going with it. But another great one that I've used actually within athletes is lactoferrin. And lactoferrin actually has I've seen anecdotal reports, not just like with like from other athletes, but like from my own athletes myself, because I have a guy who's going through a gut protocol phase right now. It's not super crazy. It's not like he has like everything that's mixed up on his GI map, but there's a couple things that were off, and we started implementing it, and within like I think it's been like 4 weeks, and already seeing major improvements. So if you guys are looking for more antimicrobials, lactoferin's a great one as well. I can maybe even link a link to like an Amazon brand that I used for him as well.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, you can always go with like supplemental prebiotics, probiotics too. I have some options in here. I'd say I'd always opt for a natural source first, then supplemental. And honestly, so many people don't even know what they're doing with pre and probiotics for supplements that sometimes it can make it worse than make it better. So, I mean, this would be something like you really would want to make sure like you're asking your coach about first and they're saying like this makes sense. But yeah, get into some low and high FODMAP foods. Again, these are just foods that can be easily fermentable. I kind of made some meal plans of like what a more high FODMAP diet could look like that maybe seems low or like a normal clean diet. So high FODMAP foods, just to list a few, would maybe be like apples, might like a lot of different fruits might surprise people. Avocado, banana, we kind of said peach, garlic, artichoke, asparagus, and buttermilk. That honestly, that's a reason I don't really like to switch athletes and prep to asparagus, just because it is maybe high FODMAP food if they haven't had it in their diet previously. But again, if they've responded well to it in the past, it doesn't make it a bad food. So some nuts, seeds, other things like certain teas, honey, even. So if you're someone that's maybe more prone to responding negatively from honey, maple syrup would be a really good replacement to honey. That is a more low FODMAP, but still gives you a lot of benefits similar to honey. So quick little meal plan is something like chicken, apple, almonds. Seems pretty clean, but almonds and apple are both high FODMAP foods that if you're maybe not responding well to, and you're like, but I'm eating such a clean diet, it could maybe be some of these things. So chicken, rye bread, honey, I kind of have like what's the low, what's the high. Look through this. I don't have to go through every single one, but you get the idea. Some wheat-based stuff versus a low FODMAP diet. So something like chicken rice, coconut oil, chicken rice, cream rice, maple syrup, protein powder, Rice Krispies, almond milk. Almond milk is a low FODMAP, whereas like whole milk 2%, that would be a high FODMAP. So it's not just we don't have to just demonize all milk. It just kind of depends on what it is. Fish, carrots are really good low FODMAP, peanuts. So even some like most of your nut butters are pretty good. Beef, sweet potato, pineapple. This would be a great example where all your foods are low FODMAP. Thing is, though, if you have like an actual gut issue that you're following this for, you're going to need to do this for like probably 4 to 6 months to actually peel off the bacteria entirely and ease some of that fermentation in the gut, bad bacteria overgrowth. And then from there, you can kind of reintroduce some of these more high FODMAP foods again, one at a time, see what you're actually not responding to well, and then you'll kind of know whether or not to keep it in or not. So yeah, again, you can reference different foods on here that are low FODMAP. Just main things to point out to bodybuilders too that could be causing some maybe gut irritation is spices with garlic, onion, sweeteners, different condiments. A lot of you are condiment whores out there for bodybuilders, so like sometimes ease up on it, especially Sam. So yeah, just kind of take it as it is. I mean, I've had times, especially if you're in a prep, your gut health gets worse in a prep, not better. So you're going to get more and more sensitive to these different things. So honestly, you guys would be doing yourself a favor in prep if you just don't even season your meals or put any sauces on it, because then you're going to keep your palate very cleansed. You're not going to have a bunch of like super palatable sauces and condiments, and it's going
Yeah.
to make those cravings worse. So,
Yeah.
and you'll
I've
improve.
I haven't been seasoning my meat like the beef and chicken for over like a year. And
Yeah.
definitely like with the excess like amount of spice and like chili, paprika, the garlic, dude, like it really does make a difference. And like just adding the salt and pepper like after, it's a huge game changer. And it honestly tastes like a little bit better and it's more versatile. You can make it like sweet or savory and like
Yeah. 100%.
yeah.
Yeah. And not to mention all these different condiments and seasonings, there's also sodium in there, which is always fluctuating your electrolyte balance. So if you're someone in prep, you don't really want to be adding seasonings in the first place if you want to have a very predictable peak with your
Mhm.
sodium. So if you aren't tracking and measuring out your sodium, I'd highly recommend it and keeping outside sources of sodium to a minimum. The last one, I'll just kind of go on in here. I have like the least amount of stuff on this one because I haven't really built out much else from this. But this is like histamine foods, foods that can release histamine. So histamine is part of your immune system that binds to, I believe, your mesophils from your white blood cells. And it can be responsible for blood clotting, increased heart rate, swelling and inflammation, being adrenaline releasing, increased permeability, bronchoconstriction, dilating blood vessels, stomach acid secretion. So you can maybe have some people that eat some kind of food they're sensitive to with histamine and they get like a rash. That's pretty common, things like that. Um, so your histamine function, it has works on four main receptors. I believe like the first one and the fourth one are connected. So mainly the main locations of histamines are through smooth muscle tissue, endothelial and epithelial cells, respiratory epithelium, and then your immune cells, gastric parietal cells. I believe it's actually the gastroparietal cell that whenever it has a dysfunction can cause the low stomach acid that can cause acid reflux. Um, and also can work on your CNS nervous system. Major locations, vasodilations within the blood capillaries, bronchoconstriction, mucus secretion, gastric acid secretion, your sleep, wake, cognition, immune response. So like an example of like an antihistamine would be like Benadryl, Zyrtec, or Claritin, things that can help fight back on that. So basically like foods that help that can like trigger almost like an allergic response is basically a histamine food for you. So here's kind of like a list of histamine foods, things that are solid, you can eat, things to limit, things to avoid. Things are going to be pretty similar to a high and low FODMAP, but you'll kind of notice main things to avoid are things that are processed, like canned foods or like Parmesan, salami, pepperoni, things like that sort. And then things that are good are just your normal clean whole foods, sweet potato, chicken, fish, eggs, rice. And then your ones to limit somewhere maybe in the middle, like avocado, almonds, dark chocolate, teas, etc. So yeah, a little gut health breakdown. A lot of things you guys can take away, honestly, like as just bodybuilders, especially if you're like amateur, dude, this is like a wealth of information that will put you far ahead of everyone else at your current class for sure.
Definitely.
100%. One thing I just kind of wanted to say to also kind of wrap up, and I just wondered if you guys kind of were in the same stance as far as this goes, but I think when it comes to gut health in general, and just this is kind of a thing I've noticed, just especially with this new age of bodybuilding and just new generation of bodybuilders, is like old school guys, like we weren't they weren't talking about this stuff. Obviously, there's a reason that this stuff exists now. Like we know a lot more, but I think now there is kind of a thing I have seen when it comes to just people almost giving themselves like these things happen, like how to explain this, giving themselves these symptoms by thinking that they have this and almost overreacting sometimes. And therefore it actually translates them into getting these huge and spending huge amounts of money on gut protocols that they oftentimes don't need. And so I just want to kind of preface this. I don't know if you guys agree with this at
Placebo.
all. But I think like a lot
It's
of
the
this stuff
placebo
can be,
effect.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Placebo effect. That's something like I think is is happening to a lot of guys that are in this newer kind of, just getting into bodybuilding because they have all this information access, right? It's like the whole information overload. And I've even been a victim to it myself as well within my bodybuilding journey. But it's not to say that this stuff doesn't matter at all, because it does. It absolutely does. Especially like Tristan said, if you're bedridden sick for 7+ days, for a long period of time, like you probably should get something checked out. But if you guys are just experiencing a little bit of bloating in the morning, like it's oftentimes just something that can be a very simple fix. Also, if you're pushing food and you're on gear, like you're going to experience that stuff when you're in the off season. It's pretty common. Just because you're bloating a little bit doesn't mean that, you have to spend all this money on a whole gut protocol because you felt bloated one day, or 2 days out of the week. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's more like, do you feel and look like you're 6 months pregnant? You're so bloated, you know,
Exactly. Yep.
like there's a difference between a little bloating and like I have a baby inside me bloating. You know.
Absolutely. Sweet.
Um,
Should we
let's
get
hop
into
into
some
this
questions?
Q&A. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sweet. I had a couple off the rip. Um, this one kind of goes back into nutrition a little bit. This is one of my athletes asked the importance of meal order and timing based on macros outside pre/post workout meals.
Importance of meal timing of all your meals except for pre and post workout.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
pre and post workout are like the most important for timing.
right. Well, like let's say that you got that, like you already covered on
You
that.
got that down.
Right. Are the other meals as important? Like, what's your thoughts on like
I
the
think
importance of it?
the timing before bed, like how Tristan said, like it's
Yep.
very important
Yeah.
I
in the morning and at night, you know.
I would say it depends what phase you're in and who you are, what athlete, what goal you have. If you're like cutting, I don't think you need to get that first meal in right away. Like I kind of delay my first meal because I'm cutting. So I have the most energy in the morning to get my cardio done, posing done, walk done, maybe stretching done. Like I like get all of that done, then have my first meal, maybe like 5 minute walk around, take a nap, something like that, recharge, and then do whatever. So if you're like cutting something like that, I don't think your first meal needs to be prioritized right away in the beginning of your day. But if you're bulking, yeah, prioritize that thing like second you wake up. Because
Yeah.
if you don't get that meal timing started right away, you're going to be up till like 12, 1 in the morning trying to get these meals in. So I think kind of depends like what phase you're in, how much food you're pushing. But yeah, kind of like you guys said, I think as long as you're trying to get that, um, as long as the meals are staying spaced apart though, that's really kind of what's important.
Yeah.
Give
I think
the
I think
hours.
you did actually a beautiful job explaining that, bro. Just because I think like it really is phase dependent. And I think on top of that, at the end of the day, as far as like what's the most important, as far as nutrition goes, it's just like it's more important to just get the macros in, especially if you're bulking, right? Or even when you're cutting, like you have to make sure that you're hitting these certain macros, right? And having the certain foods that you're having, obviously, more so sometimes than the timing itself. And I've seen that through anecdotal evidence, like of myself, athletes. Like I've had times where like, I'm in a period of my life where you know, I get like training is great, like my job's great, but I just with my schedule, I'm getting only 4 meals a day consistently for like, 2, 3 months. And I've had periods of like that before, and I'm still making a good amount of gains. You know what I mean? I think because I'm combining like 2 meals at the end of the day or something like that.
I mean,
Now
especially
granted,
like if you're pushing high calorie, like you
absolutely,
you
yeah,
don't have to have 5, 6 meals. Like
right,
you could just combine, two or
yeah,
three of them and get them down. But
absolutely.
I
I
think
think
yeah,
at the
like it's
yeah,
such goal dependent because yeah, if you are like on prep like me and Tristan, you might need 5 or 6 just to get that continuous stream of protein.
mhm, absolutely,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it matters too on what's the lifestyle, like job of the person look like. Like, are they training at 3 in the morning? Because like I have some guys like that.
yeah,
So I'm gonna like that first meal for that person in the day is probably their pre-workout meal, you
yep,
know?
Yeah,
So I like to keep that pre-workout meal honestly a little bit more moderate, not like super big because I want it to digest very quick, but I'm going to make their last meal before bed a decent size bigger so that
yeah.
we can kind of load those glycogen stores and then they can wake up full, kind of just top off that fullness they lost, then have a good training session.
Especially like with like it's a huge meal right early in the morning, like you're risking just being super groggy and what I mean, especially like brain fog and sometimes I would eat a meal and I just want to go right back to bed.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Especially
yeah,
if you're like you train
definitely.
in the morning, like you said, Tristan. And it yeah, I think it's 100% schedule dependent, but I guess overall importance, I guess like I would say as cop out of answers as it sounds, it's really dependent on the person and their schedule.
Why you hire a coach? Check out my
Yeah.
DM or DM me or fill out my application.
Shameless
Shame.
plug. All right, I got a kind of cool, interesting question, unless you want to go, Tristan.
I got one right here. So, does it take a toll on you to give every training session 100% or excuse me 110%?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't need to go full balls to walls. Sometimes you just need some really good connection and stimulus and to be there you need to be a little bit less hype and more focused,
yeah.
oriented. Um, yeah, you guys want to add on to that?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I think it kind of depends on like how we're defining 110%. And so it sounds like with Sam, if it sounds like I'm saying this right with the way you're interpreting it is when you see 110%, you're talking about all the extra like
The energy, yeah, the
yes, the
hype
energy,
and
the
the
hype,
energy, yeah,
100%. And I think that's 100% understandable. Like I'm in the same boat. Like sometimes you just need to have a little more calmness to get those
yeah.
more stimulatory, you know what I'm saying?
Execution,
Ex
yeah,
better execution on the actual sets. Than just going, guns ablaze and just ripping the weight. Yeah, there's times for that, but I think it's not like I don't think that every session needs to be like that.
yeah,
Mhm.
What you, Tristan?
I think it again kind of depends on the person. What's their experience level in giving intensity? Because 110% for one person can look a lot different than a different person. Whereas
Yeah,
someone that's a little bit more beginning in their journey, their 110% is actually like the minimum they need to get to grow.
yeah.
You know? versus us, our 110%, like we could like injure ourselves, you know?
I don't know if you guys like have experienced this, but like I know training with like some newer my athletes for the first time, and when they see, your intensity level and level of that execution, and then you also helping them get to that level, they see
Yeah.
it for themselves. Oh, this is how hard I should actually really be pushing. I was nowhere even freaking close to doing that.
Yep.
So it's a different like mindset approach. Obviously, like you said, sometimes like they think they're going 110%, but really that's their like 60%, you know?
Yeah. If I have a session like that with an athlete, I like to preference it before we train that, like, hey, we're going to train in a way I don't even really ever want you, not to ever do again, but I don't want you to do this training consistently. My goal of this training session is to break your limiting beliefs of what you think is capable, like you think that
Exactly.
you're capable of. And
Yes.
I want you to understand that you have this reservoir of intensity within you. And then I want you to learn how to channel that appropriately into the program you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect way of putting that, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah. 100%. I really have nothing else to add to that.
Me neither.
Oh yeah. Also, I
Um,
would say too, 110%. Sorry, I'm kind of going off here. Are we giving 110% to a 6 rep top set or 15 rep top set? Because there's going to be a lot more risk to reward with those two, where it's like I'm going to go from maybe more forced reps going into that 110% range on maybe more of like a volume set than like a heavy 6 rep on hack squat where I've got a giant load on my back. You know what I mean? So have some like discernment of what the lift is and what the purpose of the set is.
Absolutely. All right, this is a good one. First cycles for Tristan, Sam, and myself. I can go
And
first.
the trend, baby.
Wait, what's the question? Sorry.
First cycles for each of us. So what was our first cycle? I can start first. I started off with I just hopped on tier two when I was 19 for like 6 weeks, bumped up to 300 milligrams for like I think 8 to 12 weeks somewhere in there. And I thought that was my cycle, and then I realized my coach is like, no, your cycle's starting at 500 test. And so we started at 500 test, and then I think like 8 weeks into that, I added in like 300 milligrams of Primo. And then I also tried out there's an intermuscular pre-workout IGF-1
Mm,
LR3. Yeah.
damn, that's a big cycle. Mine,
Yeah.
mine, I was self-coached at the time. So I was like about to turn 20. I was probably like I'd say like 12 weeks out from my show, and I hopped on
Hell yeah.
250 test just the whole way there. And I didn't hop off or whatever reason, or I mean, I was still like I was growing it, I was still saturating while I was doing my shows.
Right.
And then I added then 20 megs of super draw pre-workout.
My
Dude,
gosh.
hell
And
yeah.
it just got me freaking shredded. It worked, dude. I got stage lean and yeah, you know.
That's an awesome first cycle, dude.
Yeah, it was like such minimal. And then I bumped it up to 500 test, got off the super draw, and then added in 300 EQ, 300 NPP, which then took a turn for the worst because I had some bad mental effects from the NPP and combined with the EQ. So I hopped off it and just stayed on the EQ and the test, and I grew a shit ton. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it was like my first legit cycle though.
That's
Would you
dope.
notice bad mental sides like anxiety, depression, or what?
Yeah, just like mania, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was not really able to control my emotions. And they're just too, obviously my estradiol must have been really off
Yeah.
the range.
High estrogen, high prolactin.
Yeah, I felt like a little girl. Nah.
That's
But
funny.
I hated that feeling so much. That was the worst.
Sucks. I got a question from Miranda actually. Do you think balance can
Oh,
exist?
I was gonna say, what was your cycle, Tristan?
Oh yeah.
Cycle. That was pretty moderate. My first like blasting cycle was 300 test, 300 mast. That was it.
Oh, that's
I
Yeah.
right.
wouldn't even call that a blast.
I would say your
I
first
definitely
cycle
grew
was
on
actually this
it.
last one that you just did. I would consider that your
Uh,
cycle.
yeah, I'd say this last one was pretty decent. I also was doing a decent amount of insulin with that first one, probably like 30 IUs on training days total, but
Wow.
it was a decent amount of insulin. But this last cycle I did with Nick was 500 test, 500 primo, and then 4 IUs GH at night plus insulin in 2 different meals on training days. And we were going to grow here, but now we're prepping, so probably going to use even more than that in the prep. But um, I think he wants for this prep, he wants to utilize some. He told me to get at least test, mast, which I have, tren, winstrol, and then we're implementing like some T3, T4, basic stuff like that.
Same
So
here, bro.
I'm excited to try tren, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
We're gonna be. Did he tell you to get Trend Hex?
I think he said tren ace. I think he already has.
Ooh,
Are
I
you
get
using
Trend
Trent Hex?
Hex. I have no clue what he's gonna do with me, bro. But he
Probably,
said,
probably
"I
true.
learned some tricks up my sleeve. We're gonna use that. I'm gonna be his like test rat because
Oh
he.
gosh.
I mean, we our last one like we used everything, basically everything Tristan just listed out. So I've been through prep similar to that same cycle before. Holy crap, it gets you crazy shredded, crazy dry. It's nuts. Obviously you gotta put in the work, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the drugs do its thing for sure, especially if you leverage all the compounds correctly.
Yeah. Question by Miranda. We can make this the last question if we want.
Sure.
Um, Miranda asks, do you think balance can exist at the extreme levels of bodybuilding? If so, how? I think the key word here, yeah, is like the extreme levels. I no.
Mm,
But management does. I think that's important. You got to be able to manage different priorities and learn how to. This is something I was talking to Nick about and Devo about. I've been trying to like implement more into my life is knowing when to switch in and out of different modes in your day. So whenever
hmm
I pull up to the gym, I'll like out loud say, I'm a bodybuilder. I'm a bodybuilder now. Right now, I am a bodybuilder. Once I
hmm
finish at the gym, I get back in my car, drive home, business. I'm a business owner. I'm a coach. I'm a boyfriend. Like I voice out loud, what mode am I in? What mode am
The
I in? What mode am I in?
keywords like that, dude, they helps like especially like training. I don't want to go into tangent, but yeah, dude, like the when you say it out loud, like it makes such a like crazy difference.
I think about it like Superman. Open up my Superman, like,
I'm
button
a
up.
bodybuilder.
Exactly. And now I'm Clark Kent.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, can you balance like all these things all the time? Like, dude, there's gonna be different phases, where in the off season, I was going to the gun range, I was going to jujitsu. Now I'm in prep. That's less of a priority to me. I don't need all that. Like, I'm a bodybuilder right now,
Yep.
so it's like you got to manage different things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
going to visit my family. This is the reality of bodybuilding right here. I haven't seen my sister in probably like 3 years. She has a little kid grown up. I haven't seen him close to 3 years. Honestly, this is on me. I should have taken time to go out or see her by now, but I had made plans to go see her October 1st. We're committing to this prep. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm just going to delay it and make sure I actually do show up to it. But
Mhm.
I need to focus on this right now. But I know I will show up into it later. And it's only a 2.5 month prep. So it's not like I'm waiting another 2 years or something. But
Yeah, and also it's
reality,
like what type of balance? Social life balance, food balance. If it's food balance,
Yeah.
kind of say goodbye to that. You're a
yeah.
bodybuilder. You
Mhm.
know, if you choose this craft, you got dedicated, if you want to be good, obviously. There's bodybuilders that, oh, I can eat whatever I want, but honestly, they're leaving so much progress on the table from that. But like socialized balance, like, dude, if you're in the off season especially, and your friends like are in college or like they go out to bars, doesn't mean you can't, right? Just go and get a Diet Coke. You don't need a drink and stuff like that to, enjoy the people around you. Um, and especially like I would say in prep, sometimes it is, very valuable to, have that some of that balance to keep you fresh. Because I myself I feed off energy. I love being around people and talking to people,
That's
and without that, because in preps you're alone in it. It's your own battle, and it's a good reminder that you don't have to be alone in it, man.
thousand
Like,
percent.
there's people there for you, and you have bodybuilding. They say bodybuilding is a solo sport. We made that post a while ago. Bodybuilding is a team, and your team could be look so different. It could be just your girlfriend and your coach. It could be a whole parade of, your mental performance coach, your posing coach, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your bodybuilding coach, your friends, family, all that. I count my parents as, and you guys are part of my team. You guys are part of my team. Nick's part of my team, right? Um, and you know, my first couple of preps, I really shut everyone out, and I kind of lived the Jay Cutler,
Yeah.
mentality, be inside the
Wow.
box, and that did such a bad toll on me mentally. Um, and then right when I got out of prep and I started incorporating some of that bounce back, the life just got right back in me. So,
Yeah.
if you want to drive hard and you want to continue driving hard and have, fun with it, because bodybuilding is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to
Exactly.
enjoy prep. That's like you get to
100%.
compete. This is the pinnacle of what you're doing it for.
1,000%.
Um, you just got to be around people and have, that social life balance.
Mhm.
Couldn't have said it better, my man. Dude, this is like kind of like I was saying before. This is the first prep that I feel like I'm not just doing for selfish reasons, where it's like I don't feel that pressure on me to win the show, win the overall, and like have an IFBB pro physique
Dude,
tomorrow.
I feel like that exact
No
same
pressure.
mentality, bro. And it feels
Pressure.
amazing, dude.
So I have zero pressure on my shoulders. And this is the first prep I've been putting myself in more community scenarios where it's like putting myself around more friends, like more involved in the church, like more involved in these places. So I just feel more and more and more and more supported, you know? And it's just like, why would you shut out people that are trying to push you to be better? Like, doesn't even make sense. It's just like, it's just all ignorance in narcissistic
Ego.
use.
Yeah.
It's all ego. It's all ego.
I'll say
And
this. I think winning alone is nowhere clear or close to winning with your best friends around you, your best people around you.
sure,
Dude, spot on.
I
It's
dude,
think
not
like,
worth
like
it.
I
I, w-
think
I
when you
would I
guys
would
were
rather,
there,
yeah, go
yeah,
on. Sorry.
when you guys were there, like at my prep, and it was just like we're all celebrating this together. Like that's bodybuilding. That's true. Like being able to win with the team. You know what I mean? I think, looking back, like you said, Sam, like being in preps before where, or parts of even prep where you just kind of feel alone. I think there's a part of that I guess that's representative of bodybuilding that maybe needs to be there a little bit, but it shouldn't be weeks on end where you're by yourself and you're kind of in your own
Exactly.
box. And as fun as like the Jay Cutler thing you mentioned it is, it's like cool to think about, like, oh, I'm in the box. I,
Hmm.
I think it's really unrealistic for most people, if not all people, because we are social creatures. We
Make
thrive
that
on
box into a pentagon.
exactly. Yeah. 100%, dude. I liked how you guys both kind of talked about too, is like there's different modes within the day, but there's also different modes within like, in stages of life as well, and that's something like I've kind of realized a lot over this last year. Just when it comes to just like being able to focus on one thing, because I think we're all at similar stages, but also very different stages in life, right? And I think I've gotten definitely down the path of like beating myself up because I thought that like I'm not being there for someone enough when I just need to be able to actually just focus on what I need to focus on. You know what I mean? And so I think like being able to just take pride in what you're doing, and not like the bad pride, but more, I would say more so confidence in what you're doing with like whatever it is your journey is. Um, and and being able to be there for the people and letting the people that are supporting you be there for you throughout the process as well.
kind of like Sam said, bodybuilding isn't a solo sport, but it is a solo responsibility of execution. but it's not a solo journey.
Hmm.
100%.
Definitely.
Definitely.
That's a good freaking
Oh
question and
yeah, that's a good.
podcast,
Yeah,
man.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
wrap.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
seriously.
You guys want to make any more? You guys want to close this up?
I
I
gotta
don't
get
have
a
any more
meal in.
questions. Sam, do you got any?
Starving.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty hungry too. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, thank you
That's
guys for
all.
tuning in to episode 3 of the Inner Circle podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys submit questions. We throw up polls before these podcasts to submit these Q&As that we can answer. We can't guarantee we can answer all of them, but we try to answer them in the order that they were submitted. So answer it quick whenever you see it. That being said, we love you guys. Appreciate the support. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.